Rated M for mature.
Zombie Army 4 has arrived on Steam. If you haven't played it yet, here's a few things that we learned the hard way to instantly make you a better player. Hello and welcome to the channel. My name's Phil, and today I'm remembering what it was like before I enlisted in the Dead War. When co-op shooter Zombie Army 4 first arrived on PC, I was, like all newcomers, a big useless idiot, shooting at walls, floors and the odd kneecap, falling over more than those two Iron Man athletes in that video, you know the one, and basically serving as a walking Sainsbury's ready meal for the local undead population. And maybe if you've been holding off until its Steam release, you're thinking you might fare about as well. But let's be clear, this is a game that, sure, you can have fun with the first time you pick it up and face a horde of Hitler's reanimated undead marching towards you, but it's also a game that scales massively with your skill level. So when you really want to challenge yourself, you can bring on greater numbers of enemies, more challenge, more satisfaction when they're all dead and you're still standing. So in no particular order, here are 9 things that'll take you from quivering rookie to pro pretty much instantly. Things we wish we knew when we started out, but instead learned through many spectacular mistakes. If you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button now to get all our new content every week delivered right to your eyes. Now on with the show.
In Zombie Army 4, you'll be facing the undead horde with a primary weapon, often a sniper or other type of rifle, a secondary, usually a shotgun, submachine gun or assault rifle, and everyone's favourite last resort, a pistol. As satisfying as it is to pick off the living dead with some quite literally mind-blowing headshots, you won't always have the luxury of time, or being far enough away from the zombies that they won't try taking a bite out of you before you've even looked down your scope. To make the most of the weapons at your disposal then, and to stop yourself from becoming lunch, we recommend utilising your secondary. Unfortunately for us, zombies aren't particularly well mannered, and they don't tend to approach you in single file, so having your shotgun, SMG or assault rifle at the ready is the best way to go. Every secondary has its merits of course, but that didn't stop us from arguing which one's better in video form recently. And aside from unlocking attachments via levelling up your weapons, you'll also find them scattered throughout the game, and we highly recommend giving your secondary a little bit of love when it comes to choosing which weapon gets electric ammo, for example.
Oh, I see.
We've said it once, but it really bears repeating. These zombies are bloody rude. They're impatient, always trying to grab you at once, they're constantly talking over one another, and they're always showing up unannounced. Take this gunner for example, showing up halfway through a horde mode match when the ammo's getting low and the grenades have already been thrown. Trying to take one down with a few bullets, a pistol and a positive mindset won't always be enough. So we recommend saving some of your tactical items until you really need them. Your average run-of-the-mill zombie can be easily taken down without the use of traps or grenades, so save those for when a butcher or gunner storms onto the map. Make sure your teammates do the same too though, otherwise you'll be giving the heavy all you've got, while your pals chip in with a few shots from their pistols. Not ideal. Okay, this might be hard for some of you to hear, but it's going to be better you hear it from us now, rather than getting a much swearier rendition from your teammates later when you're stuck on the other side of the map begging to be picked up. You ready? Stick together. There's safety in numbers, you know? There's no I in team. Teamwork makes the dream. Okay, you get the idea. As tempting as it might be to single-handedly best a butcher, it's much more likely that he'll make mincemeat out of you. So try to communicate with your team constantly and take on large hordes and heavies together. Similarly, if you're trying to take out a suicider when you're far away from the rest of the team, there's a good chance the explosion will damage one of your mates. By its very nature, horde mode will send zombies at you in waves, and sure, the wave looks thin now, but one of your friends might pick off the last one and start the next wave while you're still AWOL. So try not to go too far from your group, even if it's to refill on ammo.
Just as sticking together during a horrendous horde mode wave is important, it's perhaps even more important to pay attention to the many unlockables in Zombie Army 4. From weapon mods to survival perks, melee abilities, and yes, even dance moves, you really are spoilt for choice when customizing your character before entering the heat of battle. Take Boris for example, this fine specimen of Soviet muscle mass. His character trait allows for increased melee damage, so based on that, it would only make sense then to combine him with perks that get him closer to the action, such as takedown frequency, or if he ends up in a tight spot, the hardened perk. And just like with your character's special modifiers, there are also modifiers for your weapons. Electric bullets, increased ammo, vampire scopes that grant you life. Many of these modifiers can only be accessed as your XP increases. So if you like the sounds of them, then get slaying. Also, who doesn't love seeing the Charleston in action?
Before too long in Zombie Army 4, you'll come across these enraged zombies. They move faster than their regular variants, and they're basically just absolute jerks, particularly if you've got a lot of opponents to deal with and you let them build up. Well, these are the work of commanders. When you see one doing this, that means you're about to meet a stack of enraged enemies because he's applied some wicked occult spell to them, and he'll keep doing that however many of them you kill. So you need to cut him off at the source. Basically, whenever you see an officer like the commander or the necromancer who, yes, brings them back from the dead, drop everything and see to them. Go over to them, shoot them, and then stomp their corpse to stop them from getting back up. You do not want to leave them unattended for more than a second. Trust us on that one. Next tip isn't particularly flashy, but it will make at least as much of a difference to your survival as all the others, maybe even more. As succinctly as possible, when it's quiet, get your pistol out. Left 4 Dead veterans will already have this etched into the folds of their grey matter somewhere, but in really simple terms, the thing that's most likely to kill you in Zombie Army 4 is volume of enemies. If you can minimise the number of hurty Nazi dead things on screen at any time, you're minimising the thing that kills you most often, and you do that by killing quickly. Pistols, as you can plainly see here, don't kill quickly. They're not as powerful as rifles and secondaries, and it takes that extra moment to line up sick headshots like this. #MLG, #esports. So you really don't want to be using it when there are loads of targets near to you. Except you've got to now, haven't you? Because you fritted away all your rifle and secondary ammo on that chill corridor bit about 5 minutes ago. You see the point. Save the big guns for the big gangs.
Ah, the takedowns. The moment when, after you've exhausted your ammo supply or find yourself in a tricky situation, you can show to your friends, and Hitler, just how badass you truly are. Yes, takedowns are your very special and very stylish method for destroying a snarling enemy when a bullet just wouldn't give you the same satisfaction. Okay, they're also a very handy way of getting yourself out of a pinch and regaining some lost health, but takedowns have to be earned. Each character's takedown meter varies, but in order to unlock one, you'll have to acquire a string of successive hits with your weapon. A couple of misses and you're back to square one. But once that meter has stored up, the timing is yours for when you want to enjoy a brief moment of brutal zombie killing action and feel like a knife-wielding kung fu master. However, as much as we all like style, takedowns can also be used in a much more strategic way, namely whenever you manage to successfully stagger a special zombie. When a buzz-sawing butcher or overzealous flamer gets down on one knee, rush up to them with a fully charged takedown and simply enjoy the end result. Satisfaction guaranteed, especially with those butchers.
Everything else on this list is about avoiding falling over and having to brave that embarrassing moment where you have to passively aggressively say, "I'm down," over voice chat. But let's be real, that is going to happen sometimes. So tip number 8 is about minimizing the damage when it does. And if you unlock the second chance perk, well, that damage really is minimal. When it's equipped, you can get right back to your feet if you manage to kill an enemy with your pistol while you're downed. Upgrade it by killing more and more zombies when you're downed, and you'll eventually reach the gold version, which not only gives you a health boost once you're back up to your feet, but lets you do it twice a chapter. That is massive. Teammates don't need to run to your aid right away, you can just dust yourself off and get right back to the task at hand. It's almost always shooting and killing stuff, by the way.
Stay dead.
Now, nobody likes being the unpopular one when playing with friends and having a good time, especially when you're trapped in a sewer and oh my god there are zombies everywhere and oh my god my friend's fallen down and oh my god they're about to die. Our natural animal instinct is of course to rush in and help, to revive our friends and tell them everything's going to be alright, don't worry. However, this is where you need to tell your urges to stop. Yep, that's right, stop. Because as unpopular as it might appear to be, you should actually wait, resist the temptation and think. Sometimes being a good teammate in ZA4 actually means taking your time when attempting to aid your fallen comrades. Why? Because, more often than not, if you try to rush in guns blazing and make a mad dash to pluck them back on their feet, you could very well end up needing reviving yourself, and if you were the last player standing, then you're in big trouble. Instead, assess the situation, thin out the herd, and if there's time, do a little jig in front of your friend to instill shame at their faux pas. You may still be unpopular, but you'll be smarter for it. I know the feeling.
Bloody good show.
And that concludes our 9 game-changing tips for Zombie Army 4. No doubt now you're itching to jump into the game and put your newfound knowledge to the test, or to send this to a friend who's been, let's be honest, getting a little sloppy lately, so he won't keep you any longer. Zombie Army 4 is out on Steam now and will allow you to play alongside your epic mates. Those are friends who play on Epic, not just your really good friends. Make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell to stay up to date with all our new videos, and happy zombie slaying!